Hello and good morning, good afternoon to everybody, depending where you're tuning in from this fine Monday morning or afternoon. We're getting the week started off strong as we have a lot to talk about. First off, I know where we left off on Friday's stream. I had said I bought the dip. I was excited about it, and based on what we had seen in the charts with Trip, I was ready for the next step, as I hope we prepared you guys for. I continued to buy the dip over the weekend, and now we're going to have a look at just exactly where we are on the chart. So we're going to cover that. We are going to cover the statistics on golden crosses and their average returns for Bitcoin since 2019. I believe there's been 9 of them, and we'll be covering that with Trip because we've already had a golden cross for Bitcoin as of right now, and we're just going to examine where that could lead to based on those average returns. We're also going to be talking about XRP and XLM. As you all know, we are in an XRP trading competition on Blowfin. The link should be in the description below. And yeah, we're just coming in hot with high energy. We are so excited to crush this week, guys. We are getting closer and closer and closer, and we're just laser focused as always. So we're going to update everybody on all the charts we showed on Friday during our Friday streams. And our Friday streams are not one to miss because those are real gems. I mean, they all are. But I just want to welcome y'all to the show. Real Ice Bear, what's up? Welcome. 808 Mimi's, nice to see you. Michael, good morning. Good morning. And now I don't know if I've seen you before. Yabra channel to the moon. Yeah, great. No, it's good vibes. You know why? Because we were prepared for the dip. We were buying the dip, or at least that's what I was saying I was doing. And you guys were getting information about where we were in the charts. And now it's sort of just like examining where we are now. And we're going to go over that and a lot more in today's stream. Basically, whales are buying the dip. We have news that whales have been buying the dip. Do they know something we don't? Or are they just following similar charts that we're looking at and deciding now is a good time to deploy a little bit more capital? So that's exciting. Yeah, I have news on that. Trip and I are going to go over Bitcoin dominance as well, and we're just going to give you all some updates. But on my end, I have some news to share with you. As we let people join the chat, guys, I'm going to share the Coinbase commercial that was banned in the UK because in today's show, I really want to stress why this movement matters so much and why this mass adoption is just going to blow up faster than any of us could ever imagine, because people are starting to become aware of what's happening on the world scale, whether it's through their banking or, you know, they're realizing what inflation has done to the money, or they just in their everyday lives, they're starting to see things, and everything is starting to come to the forefront, especially since President Trump is leading a pro-crypto administration. A lot of things are coming to light. All right. Now, the Coinbase deployed a bunch of capital to make a new Bitcoin commercial that got banned in the UK. This is actually kind of crazy. Okay. It says here the Coinbase advertisement ban in the UK was prohibited by UK's advertising standards because it was found to be misleading and socially irresponsible, especially regarding investment risks. So to set the tone, I'm just going to pop some of that up now. Let's have a look at this commercial as we welcome new people in. Crypto Stacks, what's up? Graham, well, you made it. Good morning. Let's hope this week will be a good one. 8 on HBAR. Oh, yeah, we're loading up. Hey, we've got more opportunities because of this dip. I'm not upset about that. I've been buying the dip, not only on Bitcoin, but also on altcoins, building those positions. So I'm going to add this video real quick so you guys can see as we let more people join the chat. And let's just have a look at this commercial that was so bad and so irresponsible as far as regarding risks that had to be banned by the UK advertising agency. So let's have a look.
Because hearing great... We ain't got no troubles, no reason to complain. Because here in great old Britain, we just love it when it rains.
Morning.
We're cozy here at home, even though it's not our own. But wait a few more years and who can say? Everything is just fine. Everything is grand. Your life can get no better when you're living by the letter in this pleasant land. Everything is just fine. Everything is great. The streets can't get no cleaner, nor the rat meat any leaner. No, life is just first rate.
Everything is just fine.
These fish fingers are a steal.
Prices up a smidge.
Just 100 quid a meal.
Empty purse, but hey, could be worse if there was nothing in the fridge.
Strategic realignment means I get to work for myself. Yeah! Paying off my law degree with tips from each delivery. Excuse me, sir, I have your tandoori. Everything is just fine. Everything is grand. Your life can get no better when you're living by the letter in this pleasant land. Everything is just fine. Everything is great. We're soldiering on. We're doing our best.
We're off to Dubai.
It's time to jump ship.
We're tightening our belts with a stiff upper lip. 'Cause everything's just fine.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but that was sort of like crazy, right? Like that ad got banned in the UK for not properly disclosing the risk involved in investment, but they didn't even make any statements, right? Like, I just want to put this into perspective, right? They're actively trying to get out ahead of this ad and say, no, this is not okay. But all they're doing is portraying a sentiment, and that is that people are tired of being stuck in the wheel, right? Like, this is just like, if this were to be a real scenario, right, that's just crazy. Like, everything is fine. It's not fine. People are realizing that their wages are going down, that things are costing more, and it's making people think about getting out of the rat race, right? About potentially having a different style of life. And that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention, because it's just like, sort of, that's how we've been going on for many, many years and many decades, and not really understanding the implications of the way that the world works, especially the Federal Reserve, how money is printed, and all that stuff. So on that note, I just wanted to start you guys off with a bang, because you here on this channel, you know better, and you know that there is more to this, and that you can have that independence, that freedom, that financial freedom, and just a better way of living, a more efficient, faster, more capable way of living, right? And we can have a more elevated existence on this planet as humans. So apart from the financial part, it's just like about your time, but it's freedom. Freedom is what we are fighting for. So do not forget that. Hey, Theta Juice, what's up? Good morning, guys. Yeah, what do you think about that ad? Isn't that insane? It's just like, it's very different from the American ads, by the way. But I guess that's something that would get to the British people, because they could understand that about their fish sticks going up and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really crazy. Brilliant ad. I think so too. And where did they not disclose financial investment risks? I mean, they didn't even talk about Bitcoin. It's just implied that, if you head toward our world, you could potentially live a better life out of the rat race, free of being dependent on the government that can't be trusted, and that could one day, not deliver on its promises and print money into oblivion. So Real Ice Bear says, no surprise they banned it. The you must obey UK. Yeah, the UK, man. Woof. They are like the most strict in Europe. And I have to say, I'm disappointed in Europe. Europe is notorious for getting out ahead of new technology and stuff, and like stifling it and making regulation that's not favorable, and just starting off that way, right? And then now the US, on the other hand, did start that way with Gary Gensler and the anti-crypto crusade. But as I pointed out on a lot of these streams, in one podcast I did with Anthony Scaramucci, he said, never bet on the US, because we have this incredible risk-taking culture, right? And we'll always come around at some point. And that's what happened. It's exactly what happened. He said it in April during the tear of Gary Gensler, right in the heart of it. And it happened that same year. So guys, I don't know. We're at a really important point in humanity right now, right? When the government hates something, buy as much as you can. Yeah, they're desperately trying to hold on to this. I mean, as hard as they can, right? We got this news in. President Trump says anti-crypto Elizabeth Warren is a loser, which is also, I mean, it's not very presidential, but it's just his sentiment toward, again, the personality, and anything you may or may not like is just a signal versus the noise. And he's saying, we're not having this. This is not how we want to be portrayed. And this is not the side of history we're going to be on, right? That's just what it's saying. So that's really important. Now, next up, what I want to get into is one interview by Tucker Carlson. Now, whether you like him or not, okay, this was really interesting to me, because it's sort of explaining where we're at on a world scale and what people are starting to realize, because you don't get educated about this in college or in school or in normal, courses. You don't get educated about money and how to make money, because then you wouldn't be headed toward the path they want you to be headed toward, which is having a boss. And look, that's okay if you have jobs in the comments. The main point of this is that you need to be happy, that you need to be free, that you need to make the money work for you and not be a slave to the money, right? Like, so that is the whole point, I think, of the school system, is to keep you in that wheel, right? And not make you think outside the box if you want to. So this is what I want to share with you guys. It's called How to Create Money from Nothing. It's an interview with Tucker Carlson and economist Richard Werner. This was just aired recently, and it's basically, I had ChatGPT break it down because I didn't have time to watch the full video. But if you want to understand truly what is at hand here, what's at stake, then this is it, right? The number one thing is credit creation and the myth of fractional banking. Werner explains that when commercial banks issue loans, they create new money ex nihilo, and it doesn't come from existing deposits. That challenges conventional economic models, right? So we all know about fractional reserve banking. The bank is not required to have a minimum amount of deposit, or at least like the entire deposit, in order to lend and borrow and do all the stuff it does, right? So I then went and looked, and I asked ChatGPT, what is the minimum a bank is required to have? And the literal response was pretty crazy. It says here that, I'm going to pull it up. So actually gave me some stats during COVID time, the pandemic, 0% as of March 2020. Now, I don't know, sometimes ChatGPT does weird things, but it says the Federal Reserve reduced reserve requirements to 0% for banks during COVID-19 to encourage lending. That is wild. Okay. Generally it's a 10%, but this is why bank runs happen, because they're not beholden to have all of that money in the account. They can go and risk it and borrow it, lend against it, do all the things that they do. And this is what creates those collapses and the bank runs. So prediction from Japan, bubble to lost decades. As a consultant to the Bank of Japan in 1990s, Werner foresaw the looming asset bubble and long recession documented in 2001. He details how excessive credit for real estate inflated values to absurd levels, while halting credit caused Japan's economic collapse. And finally, we have a few more points here. It's central banks, power, and war. He charts central banks' origins as private institutions founded to finance wars. He recounts how the CIA warned him that his research was considered threatening. So, take what you will from this, but it's just interesting to think about, right? Quantitative easing and its original purpose. This is interesting. He coined early concepts of QE in the mid-1990s, central bank purchases of non-performing assets to clean bank balance sheets without taxpayer costs. He criticizes later versions for being misused. He proposed alternatives like Treasury QE. So there's a lot of things that are like artificially propping up the society, right? Obviously, CBDCs are bad. He warns about that. And the decentralized banking model is what he is championing for. So why it matters, reframing money. His explanation upends mainstream assumptions that banks don't really intermediate. They create the money. They create the situation out of thin air, out of nowhere, right? And so this is what people are starting to become aware of. So Theta Investor, free speech has not been abolished in the UK and will jail anyone who says otherwise. Keir Starmer. I like that. Yeah, I mean, it sort of feels like that kind of era. Like, don't you dare say this. You're not allowed to say this, but don't worry. Like, we have free speech and everything is totally fine and it's democracy. Like, there's a lot of stuff crazy happening here in the world. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that on your radar, guys. Now, moving right along, you know what we're fighting for. You know what the cause is, what's at stake. And now we're going to show, this is a news from Capital Mindset, the whales that have been buying during this time when everybody else is panicking, right? Everybody else is panicking, except for you on this channel, I hope. Bitmine immersion, ETH holdings exceed 883,000 tokens, valued at an excess of 2.9 billion. MicroStrategy purchasing again, although he announced he would be purchasing less because it's actually a complicated explanation. But basically just know he's still purchasing, just at a slower rate due to wanting to preserve. If you know the actual reason, please pop it in the comments. I just didn't have time to read up on that more deeply. But just things, my point here is that news gets blown up out of proportion. People freak out. The news is meant to make you freak out. It just is. While you're freaking out, whales are loading up. And that's that. And when I say you, I just mean like in general, people who are uninformed, who only see the news and they don't tune into channels like this. Okay. And then we have President Trump to announce new federal governor and BLS chief this week, which is massive. Metaplanet buys another 463 Bitcoin worth 53 million. They just keep going. I'm going to share my screen and share a few more pieces of news before we get to the charts. But Theta Juice says the only thing they teach in high school about the economy is how to fill out an IRS form. Go figure. Yeah. And how to like deal with your accountants and how to pay your taxes. That's it. just be an abiding citizen and law-abiding citizen and do what we say and go with what we teach you and tell you to do, and don't question it. Don't question it. Right. So, but we are questioning it now because we know that there's a better way to live. And it's through the convergence of all these technologies of AI, of blockchain, robotics, and things that are going to make us, better. And mainly blockchain is what we're speaking about here. Right. But they all come together, and wow, AI is just incredible. So I'm going to share my screen now before I go into full mode. And I'm just going to show you a few more stats, and then we're going to get started. So I hope everybody's having an amazing Monday. And I'm going to jump right into it with Watcher Guru. Just see what we missed over the weekend. Eric Trump came in and said, buy the Bitcoin and ETH dips again. And it's like, yes, we did do that. We are doing that. He also said to do that a long time ago on ETH. Doesn't really matter. The point is that he's saying this, and they're vocal about this, and they clearly want crypto to succeed and want to do anything in their power to have the markets, rock and roll again. So 1.1 trillion was wiped out from the US stock market on Friday. We've since had a rebound, at least in the crypto markets. It's looking good. And yeah, fun fact, 10 years ago today, Bitcoin was $280. So that was yesterday. Imagine that. Imagine the exponential growth in 10 years. Okay. That is wild. And since we talked about buying the dip on Friday, we went all the way down to about like 111,000. Now we're back reclaiming higher levels. So Trip is going to take us through that in just a minute. But yeah, that's pretty much what we missed out on. And of course, the tariff negotiations are still going on. He says that he will substantially be raising the tariff paid by India to the US. So there's some tension there. Again, I think negotiation tactics. So then we have people. So this is the last part of my news segment and analysis and just macro thoughts and thesis, right? So we have people like Robert Kiyosaki coming out and saying he welcomes a Bitcoin dip below 90K and he's ready to double down, calling it the Bitcoin August curse. All this like fear-induced stuff and things that aren't backed up by any sort of charts or any sort of explanation other than his intuition or the sell in May and go away thing. I mean, that could be generally true, except for if you look at the August post-halving years, it's not even that way, right? That's not what the stats tell us. So I'm just saying, be wary, be aware of all these news pieces that come out that are actually meant to shake you out of your positions instead of actually looking at the analysis with Trip and I on this channel. So the second mouse. Okay, now I feel personally attacked, LOL. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I think you're being sarcastic about something about the school system. Yeah, I think we're all generally with the same stance on this channel, which is we all want the same thing. We all want financial freedom, and we all want to be able to work within this new technology and thrive within it and invest and enjoy our lives, right? And enjoy that freedom. So on that note, I guess you're wanting to know what's going on with Bitcoin. So I'm going to pull Trip up. How you doing, Trip?
Hey, Megan, doing pretty good. Just getting my charts sorted out here for a second.
Yeah, good. So I was just explaining that, everybody on this channel who's paying attention is, setting themselves up to do incredible things, right? Because we are giving it to you like it is. No news, no BS, nothing, no fluff, just straight to the charts. And what did the charts say, paired with macro analysis and news, but mainly tuning out the noise and focusing on the signal. So Trip's about to show us his charts. But while he does so, guys, I just want to encourage you, if you like this stream, smash that like button and, give us some positive vibes heading into this Monday. I see another. We have a new person on today. I can't pronounce your name. Sviata Sulu. So, my gosh, I think I butchered that. But anyway, thank you for being here. Welcome to the crew. We've got an amazing crew here. We're still thinking about a name for our crew, but welcome to the crew. Welcome. We got a lot of theta people. Where were you guys on Friday? We went over a theta chart. I believe it was Friday, right, Trip? I don't know. And we were counting on you guys being there. But
I think it was Friday or Thursday, sometime last week for sure.
Yeah. So Theta and T-Fuel, we did updates for those. But yeah, so Trip, I don't know if you're ready yet or not, but I want to encourage you guys to, now is the time to focus on yourself, on your education, and on smashing it when the time is right and when the opportunity comes. So the link is in the description below to sign up to the trading group. Actually, Trip, can you pull up a little bit about what the trading group looks like so people are familiar with that?
Sure, just give me a second for that one.
Yeah. Welcome, Ted. Just tune in. Let's go. Theta investor, chiropractor. Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. How many of you do go to the chiropractor? I used to do that in the US a lot. And I feel like it really helped me. I haven't done it so much in Spain, but I did swear by it in the US. And I feel like it's a more US practice than European, but I miss it. Is Theta on Kraken, Mimis? Theta Mimis? I don't think so. They are working, at least they said they were working on a major US exchange. So they just announced crypto.com, that they were on crypto.com. So you might want to go and check on that. And Mimi says, oh my God, the chiropractor is what keeps me going. See, I'm telling you, Americans know about this. And then when you go other parts in the world, they're very skeptical of it, especially here in Europe. I suggested that my husband do it at the doctor the other day because he's got a back pain. And they were like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. We don't do that here. It's like, I don't know. I do just not enough of what? What are you referring to? Crypto stacks. To the chiropractor, I guess. I once got an adjustment, then bee stings. Okay, now we're getting there. Now we're getting into the juice. I've heard multiple stories about bee stings, but it gives me like, oh, I don't like bees. So I don't know if I'd be able to do that. But I've heard it works wonders. I mean, seriously, let us know. Let us know. Trip, how you doing on that? Should we pull up that screen?
Yeah, sure. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, here we go. And guys, this is a preview into the Capital Mindset trading group. Okay, so it's on Telegram. This is what it looks like. These are all of the updates that we put like pretty much 24/7, right? Round the clock, we've got traders and analysts, and Trip, of course, the lead analyst to keep you updated. This is the Bitcoin channel. And these go into like the fractals and the mirror images that Trip talks about and comparisons to other cycles. I mean, we go way more into detail here to give you as many tools as possible for your toolkit, your arsenal, right? To pair all these indicators together to say, hey, this is my thesis. Although you don't have to make it that complicated. We do just post the charts, but it helps with the conviction to go back and look and to understand where you may be to make better decisions, right? Like what to add to your toolbox, basically. So now we're in altcoin long setups and signals. And these are some of the other ideas that Trip has been posting about. These are, again, mirror images from basically. Trip, can you explain why the fractals are interesting?
Yeah, just the repeating patterns that happen throughout Bitcoin's history and other coins too. So it's just the idea that the price action is always doing something that it's done before, or it's flipping something it's done before, or it's a reflection basically of what it's done before.
Right. So then you start to understand what bottoming patterns look like, and that they don't necessarily have to look like a cup and handle exactly, or they don't have to follow the exact shape and size of patterns that you've seen on traditional trading maps or charts, right? It's just about how to recognize bottom patterns, how to pair those factors together to understand where you're at in the chart. And so we go over that extensively in this group. This is the beginner's charts where beginners can post their charts and just ask questions, and all of the admins will help with whatever questions you may have. And we really encourage this because this is so important when you're learning as a newcomer. So yeah, we've got a lot of channels here. Can you show this is the fundamentals. So we've got so many different ways you can check in and look to see what's happening. So this is literally what's happening on chain, and buys and sells and whale alerts, things like that, altcoin news, so many different channels to keep you posted, right? So can you show, do you have the leverage channel there by any chance? So we do have,
I can show leverage here too. Yep.
Yeah. So we do have a leverage channel as well. And these what the leverage charts look like, and their setups for using leverage. They also show the suggested leverage for each trade. And it's a little bit different style, right, than spot. But it is exciting when you do learn to get to learn those skills and know what you're doing, and be able to make put in a lot smaller trade amount and do a lot more with it potentially, right? If you have the right skill set and the right risk management. So yeah, we also posted some results here. This is a recent result from AI16Z, right?
Yeah, that was just earlier this morning. Actually, we closed the trade just before we hopped on the live, actually.
Right. So things are going, and this is just while Bitcoin is pretty much standing still, and we're still able to do things here in the group, to post setups, to take trades. And it's been really, really amazing. So we're gearing up for big trading season. That's, imminent. That's imminent. You'll see that today in the charts as to why you actually need to get into gear, keep tuning into these YouTubes and sign up to the group. And we'd love to have you there. Right. So link is in the description. Ted, what about ADA? Waiting till November, same as last year? I hope so. Okay, so you want to see an ADA chart. We always say we're going to perpetually go over ADA and theta for this group because we got a lot of ADA followers and a lot of Theta followers here. So yeah, we'll go over ADA. And would you show us how to recognize the beginning of exiting a trade? So trading strategy. Yeah, we can do that when we get to the altcoin charts. Mimis, and yeah, Ted, we'll have a look at what's going on with ADA a little bit later in the stream. As far as time goes, we did say that we may not necessarily be on the same 4-year halving cycle that we've been on previously. We've explained that extensively, why that could be so. So we can go over that in another video. Potentially today we'll brush on it. But yeah, key knee, no problem. I don't know what does that say, Ted? Sorry, I'm a little bit confused there. I'm late. No, don't worry, Amanim. I just got off my tangent of why we're fighting, what's on the other side of this for us, what's happening on a world scale, and also gems about the trading group. Don't hesitate, guys. Ask questions if you want to. Otherwise, think about getting involved and getting as much knowledge as you humanly can. We are officially launching our Patreon next Monday, so that'll be sort of a tailored version. So a little bit, it's, Patreon is by email. So it'll be a summarized version of all of these ideas we've been talking about as often as possible, more bite-sized content and some charts here and there, but more for, longer term investments or investment ideas, thesis, also some short-term trades, but it'll be much less in detail than the trading group. And a lot of people like that style as well. So on that note, okay, no problem. Got it, Ted. Got it. On that note, Trip, let's have a look at the charts.
Sure, we got Bitcoin dominance here, but just to cover Mimi's question really quickly, we're just going to talk about these chart patterns that I've got the picture of here on the right side of the page. So when you're looking to enter into a trade, you're looking for the bullish ideas. So it's usually when you're breaking out of a double bottom or an inverse head and shoulders, or it could be a falling wedge that you got over here, or if it's a break to the downside when you have bearish patterns like a double top or a head and shoulders. So if you're in a trade and you don't see this pattern yet and you're in a long, then you can really just ride that trade up until you start seeing these bearish formations. Otherwise, the next thing you're looking for is the changes to the uptrend when it changes to a downtrend. So in an uptrend, you're going to see higher lows and higher highs. And then when you get to the top, same as this pattern over here for that head and shoulders, you're looking for that first lower high. And after you see a lower high, you're looking to confirm with a lower low. So then you can see how the trend has changed, right? You got higher lows and higher highs on the way up. Then you start seeing lower highs and lower lows back on the way down.
Hey, that's very helpful. These are the kind of questions you should ask, and we're going to make you a better trader. So shout out to you, 808 Mimis. Hope that helps.
Yeah, I'm just going to erase these off the screen here. We'll cover dominance really quick. So the 12-hour chart that we were looking at before, we had focused on this 1 week 50 MA double bottom idea on the 50 MA. And now it looks like we've gotten rejected, or we had a bit of a fake out above this resistance zone. So now this double bottom looks like it could be invalidated for now. This is what we're looking for altcoins, is more downside continuation. So for what we have right now on the screen, we can just see that this is the beginning of a bearish idea. So as soon as you see those fake outs, it means that the trend wasn't able to continue higher. So the only other direction to go is to come back down. And then we're hopefully looking for that break above that, or sorry, I break below the 1 week 50 MA for a more downside continuation. And we'll be using these fib levels on the way down to confirm that.
All right, so now you have it. You have the important levels here. We may be invalidating that double bottom. Pay attention to that 1 week 50 SMA. And if we do confirm that we're going to break below it, we could potentially start to see the altcoins move in a significant way. Okay, so now when you ask when altcoin season, when's ETH going to pop? Well, now you know. Now you've got an idea of what to look for, okay?
Right, so yeah, this is the daily golden crosses that we were talking about. So this goes back way back here. This is just when I started doing the counting. You're focusing on the comparisons. So if you add all of these up, at the time it was 167% average gain across all these different golden crosses over time. And then we were looking at this one over here that I've continued on the next page. And then again, you got another 66% move after this most recent golden cross. And then, excuse me, then another 20% move after this most recent one here. So now the average gain of these golden crosses over the past 9 crosses is about 121% on average. So from now, we're just looking for a retest on the 50 MA on the daily. And this also is lining up. Oh, I can't draw on this chart, but there's a horizontal line that we're going to cover here in a second as well to add to the support bounce that we're talking about.
So far, what has been the move from the most recent Golden Cross then, and how much more of a percentage could we see if these averages play out, this average gain?
So far, it's about 20%, and we're looking for anywhere between 40 to 100%. It's kind of getting smaller as we go up. If we go back here to the previous chart, I mean, these big moves are what we're looking for next, right? So 39% was down at the bottom, and then this one shot up to 118% on the next one. So as we've gone higher to the next one, this is only about 66, and now 20% so far. So I think 40 to 50%, I think, would be possible on this move.
Right. And so where would that put us price-wise? Can we do a little measuring just to get an idea of what that lines up, if that lines up with other indicators and confluence that we've mapped out?
I don't know if I can draw on that chart, so let's see if I can do it here. So we're looking for maybe another, actually, I guess I'd be going from the high. So another 30% or so. Yeah, that could be looking at about 150, 160K, around that area.
Right.
Yeah, it's not too
Good.
bad.
So that gives us an idea of where it could go. Obviously, it could well overshoot that. It might not make it to that on this exact move, but now we have just one more idea to add, right, to our arsenal of different indicators and different maps of where Bitcoin could go next.
Right. Yeah. So this 1-day chart too, this is what we've been focused on in the trading group. We had talked about a retest entry, and this is a chart that we had posted actually on August 1st. So the idea was to scale into this pullback. And even if it came back down to 111,000 and tested this horizontal level, it's still in this green box buy zone that we were talking about. So since then, we've had a pretty decent bounce on it so far. We're up to about 115.5. So good entry so far. It looks like a solid retest. The next level we're looking at again is to test the 1.272 at about 121K. And then the 1.618 is at about 133K. And the measured move for this whole pattern is at the 2.0, which is 146K.
All right. And I just want to remind you guys, when we went over this on Friday, we were covering this exact chart and by the dip scenario, if we held support at 110, around 110, we were saying, I think Bitcoin was around 115, 116 then, Trip. I don't remember exactly where.
Yeah, it was just starting to do the dip here. We hadn't
Mm-hmm.
quite had a bounce yet.
Right. And so we were telling you about this setup, and then we were saying, I said I bought the dip. We were saying that as a, as a general thing that we were doing. And then over the weekend, we saw that move down to 111,000 and change. And now we're back up to around 115 and change, right? So yeah,
Right.
You could have taken advantage just from the information that you got here on this channel. But of course, we're updating that around the clock in the group. So let's have a look at where we're at now.
Yeah, this is an even bigger picture for Bitcoin. This is the 1-week log scale. And on our previous streams, we had talked about the measured move of these patterns when using log scale methods. And if you measure the last one, it was previously a double bottom during the 2019 to 2021 cycle. If you had measured this double bottom out on log scale, you pretty much nailed the top over here. So now we're just applying the same formula on this pattern. So this inverse head and shoulders on log scale, the measured move that we're looking at is still about 333,000 for Bitcoin on this run. What I'm focusing on the most right now is how well these fibs are being respected on the way up. So that's a really good sign. It means that we're probably going to test the 1.618 and looking to flip it to support in order to get to the next levels even higher at the 2.0. But yeah, this is the big picture. Just want everyone to focus on what we're looking at here for the highest targets that we can see. And it's based off of measuring the same way we did it last time on the last bull run.
This is really eye-opening and really cool because it's not just price targets made up out of thin air or kind of some of the stuff you see on the news. This is backed up by charts and fib targets and scale, like on the logs. Like this has a backing of what the charts are saying, right? That could potentially happen. So I think that's cool, and that we've showed what was previously going on, and that even if we only get to maybe 140, 150 on this particular run, that might not mean it's the top of the cycle per se.
Right. Yeah. So we could be experiencing bear markets that are shorter in duration as a normal, typical bear market. And we've already seen many times throughout the cycle, like this chunk right here from March to about October. So that's about 7-8 months of downtrend consolidation before it was able to move higher. So you could have considered this a bear market. Technically, it wasn't quite a year long, but not too far off. So if we can handle these pullbacks, I think we can definitely manage holding the next bear market, quote unquote, as we go up even further on the bigger picture.
Right. So that idea of shorter, more consolidated bear cycles, I guess we could call them, not even markets, bear cycles in the broader bull picture, right? As we move up and to the right, and we stop doing this potentially conventional 4-year cycle stuff.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, back here, you moved up pretty quick and had a big correction, and then you moved up again pretty quick and had a big correction. This time it's more spaced out. We're getting these consolidations after these, like not massive moves. They're pretty good moves in size for sure, but they're not like the straight up movements where it has to cool off for a long period of time. It's more spread out, more balanced, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, it's looking a little bit different this time.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to look at the weekly chart as well, just to add confluence to the other idea that we were talking about for the breakout back here on this chart. So we've talked about this weekly chart over and over, and we were just waiting for it to confirm this retest. And now we've actually had a significant dip down. The indicators got cooled down all the way up to 12-hour. The price was oversold on the RSI. So that's a pretty decent reset. It's nice to see that we're still holding this trend line, and the 1.272 on this fib pull is still at about 119 to 120,000. We're still looking for a move to that 144 marker, though, I think, for the measured move of that smaller structure we had talked about back here.
All right. So now you've got the map. You know what's happening. So you can start getting positioned or start looking at your strategy for the potential next leg up.
Excuse me. Yeah, so right now on the 4-hour chart, we had this channel drawn, and we've been waiting for that pullback to this key support level, which we've had recently. And now it's starting to look more like this descending triangle, descending channel. Now the 4-hour 200 MA is coming into the picture. This is the 4-hour. Yep. This is the 4-hour 200 MA at that yellow line here. I think once we can confirm a break and flip this level, Bitcoin has a chance to ride it out maybe out of this channel that we've developed. One thing we don't want to see is it come back down below that 200 MA. It just means we're going to have to consolidate for a little while longer. So holding above that 4-hour 200 MA is probably the next key thing that I'd be watching for. After that, you're just looking for a break above the 0.272 at about 116.5, and then that breakout of this channel that we're looking for ultimately.
Right. And it's looking okay, guys. And if you bought the dip over the weekend, you're sitting pretty and you're doing good. And if not, just pay attention to these other entries that could happen, right, as Bitcoin inches its way higher. And just pay attention to the charts. That's all I have to say, and stay cool, calm, and collected.
Right. So we can jump into altcoins now, too, if you want to take a look at XLM here.
Yeah, let's do it.
So just to give some reference, we're just going to zoom out really quick, just so you can see where this fib is pulled from to this top to this low. So we're using these extensions currently still for this breakout of this bull flag. Essentially, it's a huge bull flag it's been forming. So the breakout entry is either above the 0.5 at about 41, 42 cents, or you can enter here on the break of this this falling wedge already. The volume wasn't too spectacular yet, but I think it's probably going to come in once we break that 0.5 fib level. Might be a safe one to scale into. So if you wanted to buy a little bit now and then wait for the breakout, then add again to your position if you get a nice retest or something.
Oh yeah, XLM looking good. And now we're getting to the heart of it, which is XRP. As you know, we're having a trading competition with Blowfin. So the
BYDFI.
BYDFI. The link is in the description below, guys, to sign up. We're doing an XRP competition with BYDFI, and yeah, we're crushing it in the trading group. Just posted this setup, so you guys are getting it now too. And let's have a look.
Yeah, XRP looks just like XLM. I mean, if I flip back and forth here, they're pretty much the same structure that's been building. So XRP seems a little further ahead. You've had a little bit more volume confirm on this breakout of this wedge so far. So if you do get a retest after this breakout confirms, it looks like it's about to confirm in the next couple hours or so. You're looking for a retest entry. And then the same thing as XLM, we're looking for these higher fib targets overhead, or these fib extension targets with much bigger picture. Right. Just if we do a quick measure here and just consider this is a bull flag and we're measuring the flag pole, we'll see what this lines up with for our fib levels. And basically you're looking for probably breach above the 1.618. So 4.5 to 4.8 I could see coming for XRP for this bull flag breakout.
All right. Wow. Okay. So it is now potentially time to start trading XRP. As we're looking at the chart, let's see if we get that confirmation and we keep going. But XRP is looking good, guys. I'm excited. I'm going to be trading it. And yeah, Mian says XRP. Yeah, welcome. Theta, XRP, HBAR, top 3 tokens. I think those are our top 3, some of our top 3 listeners here on this channel. Theta Investor says ISO 2022 active now. Yeah, there's a lot going on about that. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be bullish on these assets, XRP. Oh, I wanted to share with you guys something about HBAR too. And now we're talking about XRP. Let's pop this up real quick. So this is, sorry, it's a little bit pixelated, but it's percentage of accounts with balances starting at. And it's hidden over here, but you can see that if you own around 2,500 XRP, you're in the top 10% of XRP holders, right? So 2,500 XRP. I just thought that was an interesting stat to share with you guys. And also HBAR, there was some news on HBAR, which is UK banks to settle 10 billion in tokenized assets via Hedera, powered by HBAR. 10 billion settled via Hedera. And that's just the beginning. That's a bank doing this. Okay. That is big news, big news. So just wanted to throw that in there. So yeah, have a look at XRP that potentially is breaking out as we speak, and get ready for that. You don't want to miss that run. And I think we did have a request for ADA. So should we go ahead and try to look at ADA before we jump off here, Trip? I think you might be muted. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I'm here. ADA, yeah, we can try to take a look here, see what's changed.
Let's have a look at ADA. All those ADA gang, ADA fam.
I know previously we were looking at the 1 day 200 MA, so let's turn that back on again. And we'll go to the 1 day here. Okay, so yeah, good sign. Looks good now. For a time there, it looked like it was doing a break below and a bearish retest when I looked like yesterday or the day before. So now pretty much the same thing. We can probably draw a falling wedge. It looks like it hasn't broken out quite yet, but this is definitely one you'd want to see to follow just because of that. The large caps that have been moving together. XRP, XLM, and ADA usually take off all together at the same time, I've noticed. So if we do a measurement, I'd probably go from I'll probably go from this one here, measure down to the bottom, and then we're going to use our extension. So right now it looks like we've been retesting that 0.5 fib level pretty perfectly so far. So it's turning into the same kind of setup as XLM and XRP. You just use the same fib extension targets. The next one we're looking at is at the 1.272 at about 96 cents, and then the $1 mark at about $1, or sorry, that's a 1.618, and then the 2.0 is at about $1.21. So that could be, let's see what the measured move would be if we put this on top. Same thing about the 1.618, probably get higher than that. There's a chance we could probably go as high as the 2.0, I think, on this run. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on ADA for the breakout here.
All right. ADA for the breakout. Let's see. We got a good trade brewing there. Yeah, Realize Bears is a bank in the UK, no less. Yeah, that's right. After they just banned Coinbase's commercial, after all of the bureaucracy and BS, quite frankly, that the UK has come out with, and that's their first client. It's really interesting, right? It's like, okay, you're willing to make a bid on blockchain tech, but you're going to block everybody else from using it. Why? That's strange. Team captain, are you excited for midnight airdrop? Yeah, absolutely. We discussed the midnight airdrop the other day on the stream. So it's ADA holders and I believe XRP and a few other tokens that token holders will get the airdrop. So yeah, we're definitely excited for midnight. That's gonna be big. We have another comment. XRP and ADA, patience will pay off. Absolutely, guys. If you've been stacking since, a while back, patience does pay off. And that's like the tried and true ways. Set it and forget it if you're not going to be a trader. On this channel, we're trying to teach you to do both potentially, right? Or to have separate accounts to do different things. So I have my long-term bags that I've been stacking from the bear markets and from potentially other cycles, right? And I'll have my take profits maybe this cycle and the cycle after that. But I also have my trading portfolio where my goal is to compound my gains constantly and consistently when it's the time to do so, right? So trading things like XRP and Bitcoin and with the goal of, and then you have your second goal, which is, do you want to trade for dollars or do you just want to make more of the asset that you have? For example, increasing your Bitcoin holdings, increasing your XRP holdings, things like that. So there's so many other strategies you can deploy, especially if you've made it to this channel, if you've made it this far in the trenches, right? You absolutely can. And that's what we're here to try to help you do each and every day, Monday through Friday, right around this time. So Almanim, please, if you have time, T-Fuel. Oh, we got another T-Fueler in the house. I didn't know you were a Theta gang, Almanim. Well, since we got so many Theta people in here now, I think maybe it'll be fitting to have a look at the Theta ecosystem. What do you think, Trip?
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the T-Fuel chart that we had before, if you just give me a second here.
Okay, yeah. So somebody commented in our last time we did this, I believe it was Friday, that we covered the T-Fuel breakout before it happened. We were saying, hey, there's a breakout potentially brewing here. We showed you the pattern in the chart, and the next time we talked about it, sure enough, it had broken out. So you can actually be pretty successful just by tuning into the channel, not like in our trading group, of course, but we do talk about these things, and we just like to revisit to show that if you're tuning in, if you're paying attention, you can take advantage. And we want to provide that value to you here for free to help you grow and to help you get the tools you need. And of course, you want to take it to the next level, you can sign up to the group. So on that note, Trip, have you been able to find the T-Fuel?
Yep, just about to put it on my chart here.
Alrighty, so let's have a look at what T-Fuel did since we covered it when it actually had broken out. See where it's at now.
Okay, so yeah, T-Fuel. We were looking for the break above the 1-day 200 MA and this resistance line across the screen here. We haven't been able to close above that resistance, and we saw a lot of pullbacks with Bitcoin recently. So this setup is still valid, excuse me, but we still need to see that confirmation break above this gray resistance zone that we haven't been able to do quite yet. We had a bit of a pump that was like a 19 or 20% pump from a smaller wedge that we had drawn, but right now we're still looking for that break. We're holding the 50 MA below it, and the 200 MA is above it, so that golden cross is still in effect. Again, we just need to see that breakout first.
Right, and now you potentially have an opportunity to buy it at a lower price and ride the next wave, right? So we always talk about strategies to get into trades when they pull back, as well as breakout trades, right? So if you did play that and you got the breakout and you rode up that pump, that's great. And now you can get positioned again. And that's the power of compounding those gains versus just holding, which you can do both. And that's what I want to stress.
Right, yeah. So T-Fuel is probably going to do well. We just need to see Bitcoin confirm its move going higher, and then the altcoins are probably going to follow. So that dominance chart that we talked about at the beginning, it's probably going to be a big factor on what happens next as far as altcoins go.
Yeah, so now you guys got the alpha of the day. Now you can start your Monday off strong, knowing exactly where we're at and what to look at and where we could be headed. So Almanim says, what exchange do we need to do to hold the airdrop? I don't know. You know, sometimes it's only on self-custodied assets, right, in your own wallets. I don't know what the rule is for if you hold on exchanges, but I'll look into that and I'll have it on tomorrow's live stream. How about that? Airdrop and Ledger wallet. Yeah, usually self-custody wallets are where they do the airdrops. Sometimes, like in the case of Flare, it did get airdropped to the exchanges. So I will check out all those details for you. And if I must, I'll write the Midnight team themselves. And maybe we'll do an interview with the Midnight team. I'll do that on the side, right? To get you guys updated, primed, and ready, because it's going to be airdrop season. It's going to go crazy. You guys know how it goes. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on all that on this channel as well. And that being said, Trip, any last words to start this week off strong?
Not really. I think we covered mostly everything. It's just Bitcoin needs to keep moving higher, and then hopefully the altcoins follow. It's really just that simple right now. If we see a pullback on Bitcoin, then the same thing. I would expect the altcoins to pull back and probably make more structure. So that could be good if you're doing short-term trading. You might get a better entry or a second trade out of this movement that we've had so far.
Right. Yeah. So just keep an eye on Bitcoin. Altcoins will likely follow. Maybe don't go into such a huge position all at once in the beginning. We don't usually tend to do that anyway. It's better to buy in batches, right? Or just to average in and build your trade up. But yeah, so just keep those levels in mind, guys. It's going to be a fantastic week, regardless of the direction of Bitcoin. We'll keep you updated on what you need to know. And it's been really fun. And happy Monday, wherever you're at in the world. I saw Realize Bear had a jump. He's one of our OGs. But we appreciate you, Realize Bear, and all of you who have tuned in today. Thank you so much. And we will see you tomorrow, same time.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.